Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne, and I bring you a video tonight titled, "The Only Way It's Beneficial to Have Sex with Lots of Women." It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. The only way it's beneficial to have sex with lots of women. For a man to understand what's beneficial to him, he must first become the ultimate benefit to himself. A man becomes the most ultimate benefit to himself by having a clear picture of who he is and a clear acceptance of who he is. And as you heard me say in my previous videos, a man has to master himself, okay? In order to be a benefit or to recognize a benefit, you have to be the greatest benefit to yourself. So that means that you have a very fixated and deep-seated understanding of your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your purpose. You have a vision for your life. Everything that represents progress for you. The things that you have to examine within yourself that are going to progress you the furthest are the things that are going to benefit you. When you examine yourself and you accept what you see, you understand your purpose. You understand that your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your unique way and perspective of seeing the world, that is not a coincidence, it's you. And you don't want to be anyone else other than the most beneficial you, your best self, entrenched in vision and purpose. So that's when you're a benefit to yourself. And that is the man who is always a benefit to himself because he has a very deeply entrenched understanding of who he is, okay? So that's his compass. I mean, he's not going to overextend himself because once you have that deep level of understanding of yourself, it's impossible to overvalue something above yourself. Everything in your life must enter your life with the same fervor, anticipation, respect, and reverence that you are giving to it. That's why your life is balanced. And so that's why you can recognize the conditions that are beneficial to you. Okay? So this looks like a man, a flourishing man, a man that has that deep level of understanding and of purpose of himself. You know, my original quote before a certain motivational speaker took it decades ago and made it his own. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Where there is vision, the people flourish. And that's the only way to flourish, is to know where everything fits in your life. That's why this is the only way it's beneficial to have sex with lots of women, is to be a benefit to yourself and to be able to recognize the things that are beneficial to you. And so, as a sexy, attractive man, a man that has that level of deep understanding of himself and acceptance of himself, you are an offering to women, meaning that you're not going to have to put a lot of time and effort into acquiring sex. Sex is going to be the byproduct of your existence and not the byproduct of putting in any work and energies. That's just what it's going to come down to. That man is a departure. If you have that deep level of understanding of yourself, that discipline, that focus, and that level of progression, that evidence in your life that you are a departure of a man, sex is just going to come to you because women understand that you are a man on a conscious and unconscious level that they can pair themselves with. You are the optimal man. And women know it. And that's why women will offer themselves to you, because you are an offering to yourself. And by consequence of that, you're an offering to women, and they know it. So you literally just exist. There's no energy put into acquiring sex or anything like that. You just exist and it comes. There's no work put into it because the work was done when the discipline was implemented. That's when the work was done. That's why your life is on easy mode. It's on observable easy mode in terms of how women offer themselves to you. And that's when it's a benefit, because the women, they can definitely perceive who you are, but it's a benefit because you're not overextending yourself. The things that should have importance and precedence have importance and precedence because you have a vision for your life and you have things that mean more to you than acquiring your next piece of poofy. and compiling, this list of women that you can be with and bragging about it. That's a very low energy proposition to make to life every day. The most important thing I'm going to acquire is a new piece of puthi. That's low energy right there. But when you have a vision, that means that you always flourish. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Where there is vision, the people flourish, because the vision puts everything else into perspective. Meaning that you're not going to overvalue women enough to abandon what's going to keep you comfortable and keep you willing and able to pursue your vision. So your vision has to come above everything. And that's why you can recognize what's beneficial. And see, you're going to acquire a lot of women, but the average man, he is putting a lot of energy and effort into acquiring sex with women. And so they can hear of a man who doesn't have to do the energy and effort. He can just exist to get women, and it's confounding. Like, he can't quite make sense of it. And I had this particular instance happen. I would say, a couple of years ago, I was with one of my boys, and we were just catching up. And we had a conversation beforehand, before we met up. And he invited some people, and, some people that knew me came. It just, kind of turned into something. And my homeboy told one of his boys that showed up in a particular year, like how many women I had sex with. And I won't say the number, but it was insane, But his boy's first response was, man, I guess, you put in a lot of work. That was his first response, because that number of women, it was unfathomable to him that many women could just offer themselves to me. That there could be very low energy, low effort engagement with women, and women were just saying, I have to have you. And that was his first course of thought. And it was amazing to me to think that someone can conclude just because you had sex with a lot of women that you put in a lot of work. See, when you put in a lot of work to get women and to acquire sex, something very important that could progress you in life is going to suffer. It's going to suffer. Because the acquisition of sex should not have more importance than the acquisition and reaching your destiny and your vision and your purpose. So it has to have its proper perspective. So something's going to suffer. If you wake up and that's your first thought when you wake up, and your last thought before you go to sleep is, how am I going to get my next piece of puthi? Then something very important in your life that could be progressing is going to suffer. It's going to suffer. Because sex does not advance you. What advances you is the absence of the things that will keep you from advancing, not being present in your life. Sex can't advance you. It's the absence of the things that keep you from advancing, that keeps you advancing. It's the fact that you don't have to contend with anything that keeps you advancing. So sex should come on a platter. Because if it doesn't come on a platter, then the energy that you have to put into acquiring it is taking energy away from something that's more beneficial to you in life. And that's why your vision must have precedence. Your vision must have precedence, and it creates order in a world that you create. And if you don't have order in your world, if you don't have vision, then you're going to have chaos. Meaning that these men are willing to do anything to get that next piece of puthi. There'll be any man that they need to be to get that next piece of puthi. They'll treat this woman that way, that woman that way, this woman this way. Because their goal is to get their next piece of puthi. But as a visionary, as a sexy, attractive man, a man who's always progressing, then your goal is to ultimately go to higher heights in life. That's your goal. And so sex is never a goal to a man who is elevated and progressive. It's never a goal. It's a byproduct of him showing up. And you'll have men that are around you, and they won't understand how women just offer themselves to you because you're operating at a different frequency. You're operating at a completely different frequency because you get lots of women and they don't understand it. And the thing that messes these men up the worst is that you don't put in any energy. That's what messes them up the worst, is that you don't put any energy into the acquisition of women, and women just recognize who you are. That's when it's beneficial to have sex with lots of women. When they're in their proper dynamic in your life, and there's no effort into the acquisition of sex, Women just look at you as sex because you've mastered yourself. And you've mastered yourself to the point that you have internal and external prosperity. You radiate wherever you go. You're a departure. You're elevated. And so women, they recognize that, and that's what they want to pair themselves with, and that's why they offer themselves to these kinds of men. So you will find yourself having sex with an outrageous amount of women, but the important things in your life are not going to suffer because you didn't take your energy and effort away from the places that it was supposed to be. Meaning that you just showed up places and women offered themselves to you. And I've seen it happen so many times, man. So many times. Where you just show up somewhere. A woman can be with another man. She could have been talking to men all night and none of them really were her type and she ran those men around. But as soon as you walk up in the spot, the look in her eye changes. That real red beam of lust that I talk about all the time, it emits from her eyes because you are the departure of a man that is easily recognizable. And what does that translate to? No energy, no effort, no time put into the acquisition of sex. And how does that happen? Because you put in the discipline to become the sexy, attractive man. The man who's clicking on all cylinders. The man that has the full awareness of himself. The man who is prosperous from the inside out. The man who has an elevated, tailored appearance that's a reflection of the love that he has for himself. You put the energy and effort into becoming that man. So when you enter a place, you're literally levitating. And women take notice because that's where they're meant to pair themselves. That's where they're meant to park themselves, with that kind of man. So that is the reality of how it's beneficial. The only way it's beneficial to have sex with lots of women is when there's no energy and no effort into the acquisition of sex. When sex is not a privilege, it's just an experience. See, to the average man, that's why he's going to put in so much energy and effort into the acquisition of sex, because it's a privilege. The women are above him. He thinks that Poothie has more importance than what he has to offer to the woman. He's completely out of order in life because he's out of order within himself. And so his philosophy is, as long as I get the Poothie, that's that unnecessary energy and effort that's going to rob your energy and effort from where it should be to progress you in life. But then your mantra is, I exerted the discipline and I am a recognizable man that is elevated and a departure from the normal man that she's going to meet. And she recognizes that. And then your life isn't suffering because you're not putting energy and effort into the acquisition of sex. And the men around you, they're shape-shifting, they're manipulating, they're lying, they're neglecting things that they should be giving energy to progress their life. Their life is in the same exact place every year. Your life is progressing because you gave your day all the energy and effort that it deserves to advance you. The priority of your average day are the things that are going to advance you. Then you give the acquisition of sex or women a minimal amount of time because it has a minimal amount of importance in comparison to the things that are going to advance you in life. Your priorities are in order. And so the woman sees a non-chaotic, organized space, and she understands that she can flourish in this space. No matter what she's created for her life, this is a higher plane of existence in your space. And what does she do? She offers herself to you. No hesitation. As soon as she sees you, I'm yours. She offers herself to you. She's ready to receive you because you received yourself. You inhaled yourself. You have a full understanding of yourself, and you have a level of discipline that supports realities that you exude. The woman knows you before you say a word out of your mouth. She spiritually interprets you. She sees how good you look. She lusts and desires you, but she also spiritually interprets you. And that's how you understand that she's going to enter your space with no games or gimmicks, no power plays, none of that stupid stuff, because you are a gift, an offering to her. She doesn't need an offering. She doesn't need compensation, but she's in the space of where she was created to be. And other men, they're not going to be able to understand this, but that's not your problem. You just exist. You watch them put in that work. You watch them neglect the things that are important to them, that should be important to them. You watch their life stay stagnant. You watch them accomplish very little. You watch them just, exist in terms of day to day. And then you take a look at your life. And it's very apparent that you are advancing at a rapid pace and you're ascending, because the energy and effort is not in a place that it's not supposed to be. It's in a place that is going to advance you and not be a deterrent to the things that are going to allow you to make the mark on this world that you were designed to make. That's what advancement is. You becoming more of yourself, you sharpening your best gifts, talents, and abilities, and you presenting your best to the world so that the world can give you the best in return. That translates to rapid ascension. That translates to you being a recognizable force of existence. And so life is on easy mode. It appears that life is on easy mode. So you show up places and things come to you. Things attract themselves to you because you become a certain type of man that life offers things to on a consistent basis that is elevated. You're an attractive man. So your life appears to be on easy mode. And then the other men, their life is not on easy mode because they have to put so much energy and effort to compensate for their lack of attractiveness, because their goal is to get a lot of that poothie and get a lot of women. See, the sexy, attractive man, his goal is to never get a lot of poothie and get a lot of women. His goal is to continue to better his best every day and give the world the best version of himself. Give that to life so life can elevate him and give him elevated outcomes. That's his goal. And so things are going to be different between these two types of men. You know, one man is just going to receive things based on who he's become. The other man is going to have to fight and claw to get the things that he wants, and his life is not going to progress. It's only two types of men. You know, ones that have clarity within themselves, and one who have chaos, and cannot make significant life advances every year. Only two types of men. But your life is on easy mode because you're willing to exhibit and exercise the difficult discipline. Think about discipline. See, discipline means that you wake up every day and do things the same way in a particular area to get a particular outcome. It's difficult because you're not going to want to do it every day, but you know that you have to do it to advance to the place that you see within yourself and to make it an outer reality. That's what you know. So it's not easy to maintain discipline. But when you know something's necessary, then discipline becomes a part of you. And then when you have discipline, then the results come and things are easy. I remember my college coach, he used to make us go hard in practice. And he was like, the games are going to be easy because of how hard we go in practice. And he was right. He was right. Definitely right about that. And the same holds true for you. You should appear to be on easy mode because you put the discipline in behind the scenes over time and you didn't abandon it. So what did you do? You increased internally and externally. You gave life something better to work with, and life gave you better in return. And see, that's how you can have sex with lots of women, and it's not a deterrent. This is the only beneficial way to have sex with lots of women. See, just in, closing, so to speak, most men who, quote unquote, want to have sex with lots of women or do have sex with lots of women, something significant is suffering because they're putting too much energy into it because they're not recognizable, attractive forces that women can offer themselves to as soon as they meet them. But it's only right, and it's the right way, the only way to have sex with lots of women, and it's not going to be a deterrent and it's going to be beneficial. It's because it's not interfering with the things that you're supposed to be putting your energy into to continue to benefit your life. You're an offering. So what do women do? They offer themselves to you. There's no interference. There's no, you don't have to divide your efforts. You put the multitude of your efforts where it's supposed to be. That's all you do. And then you become a recognizable force of increase that women offer themselves to. That's it. And so your life is supposed to look like it's on easy mode. And men are not going to like that. Men are not going to like the amount of work that they have to do to acquire a piece of poothie. And then you consistently just show up. I mean, you're giving it very little time or effort. You just show up much later than everybody else. And men are not going to like how women just offer themselves to you because they have to put in so much work. They created a definition of masculinity that is based on submitting to that puti. That puti is so valuable, I'll do anything for it. I've accepted that I'm going to have to do some things because I'm not as attractive as she would like me to be. So I'm going to have to do some things and waste some energy and time to compensate for her lack of attraction to me. And that man knows that. And then he sees you, who shows up as the gift, and women just pivot. Women look, they ask, who is that? They move in your direction physically and with their eyes. And they make a very quick decision that they're leaving with you. And this can happen anywhere. Because when a woman meets the quintessential man, the sexy, attractive man, then her reality is suspended. And when her reality is suspended, her thoughts are very succinct. Her thoughts are exact. I have to experience this man. And that's the only way it's beneficial to have sex with lots of women. It's beneficial because, once again, it's beneficial because her presence does not interfere with where your energy should be to progress in life. That's the benefit right there. It's not taking away from where your energy is supposed to be. See, when a man, his mantra is, I'll do anything for that puti, he's not a benefit to himself, and no woman is a benefit to him. He's constantly putting time and effort into expired situations. The situations should have expired because he's constantly dealing with drama. He's dealing with games. He's dealing with demands from women. He's dealing with women telling him he's not enough. I need more from you. I'm not satisfied. And even the time that these men are away from these women, those women's presence in their life is a weight. It's a weight that's holding them back from the greater things that they could be doing because they're staying in expired situations because they can't just show up places. Women take one look at them and say, let's go. Because they don't have that level of discipline. They don't have that level of discipline. They're not willing to do the same thing every day, even though it's undesirable, to get a particular result when it comes, to reach that place that they know is within them. That's the when it comes right there. They're not willing to do that, so they have to settle for second tier life and treatment because they're giving life second tier energy and effort. And so that's their reality. And so there's going to be conflict because these men are conflicted within themselves, and then they come in the space of a man who has complete clarity and has transcendent results that do not compare to his results in life. There's going to be conflict. That man will always try to undermine the man who has clarity, who has vision, who has purpose and focus, because he's on easy mode. Things come easily to him. He's going to try to undermine that man because he should be inspired by that man, learn from that man, and take steps to recreate the life of that man. But discipline, it's a difficult thing because of what it requires. So that's where the conflict is going to come. Most men are going to choose, they're going to choose conflict over discipline. They're going to choose trying to bring you down over bringing themselves up through discipline because they can't stand your presence, because life is on what? Easy mode, because you've exerted the long withstanding discipline. And then how did women enter your life? On a platter. And what does that platter mean? What does it signify? It signifies that your energies and efforts will not have to be parceled out in a way that's going to damage your progression in life. That means that your vision and your purpose will get the majority of your energy. And whatever's left, that's what you will give. Because you do have a biological and sexual imperative as a man. You will constantly want to acquire women and deal with them sexually. You cannot escape that. But the amount of energy that you have to put into it to acquire it is something that you can control by virtue of the man that you become. So that's when it's right. That's when it's beneficial. When it doesn't interfere with the places that you are putting your energies into on a consistent basis that are elevating your life. That's when having sex with lots of women is beneficial, because you're a showpiece. You're an object to be desired and experienced. And women treat you accordingly. And so your goal is not to have sex with lots of women. It's just the reality of your existence. You just show up. And that's just the reality of how it is. Because women are looking for a man like you. Because you love the way you look. You love the man that you've become. And that's the man that they're looking for. And that's the easy mode right there. So I've said enough, man. I've definitely said enough. That's the only way it's beneficial to have sex with lots of women, is if there's no energy and effort involved and lots of women are just offering themselves to you. It's not a goal. It's just a reality of your existence. And if it's not coming that way, then once again, something extremely important is suffering in your life. Because that extremely important thing, your vision, your ultimate purpose, it needs maximum amount of energy and effort if you're ever going to arrive there. That place you're supposed to be to make the impact that you're supposed to make. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Just bring you a video tonight talking about the only way it's beneficial to have sex with lots of women. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And I still hear you all in the comments. You all want me to make custom videos on particular topics. You know you have to pay a donation of $150 or more to my PayPal and my Cash App information that's in my video description if you want me to make your custom video based on your custom topic, okay? You make a donation. There's a note feature on PayPal and Cash App, and that's where you put the title of the video that you want me to make, okay? So you make a donation of $150 or more to my PayPal and Cash App information that's in my video description. Put the title of your video with the donation and the note feature, and then your video will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. If your video is more in depth than just leaving a note on PayPal or Cash App, you make a donation of $150 or more to my PayPal or my Cash App, and then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more nuanced and more in-depth description of what you want me to make your video on. And once again, it will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. And if you're in need of coaching, if your thought process have been elevated as a result of watching this video, okay, I want you all to reach out to me and just hit me up for coaching. You have different challenges, impediments in the dating game. I want you all to hit me up for coaching because I have your answers. That hour-long coaching session with me is going to give you breakthroughs and clarity and allow you to change the trajectory of your dating life immediately. I promise you that. If you're interested in coaching, once again, you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. You leave your coaching in the subject matter of the email. You leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space in the body of the email. I'll do an assessment, email you back with the terms of the coaching, and then we will create a lasting, something lasting for you in terms of a breakthrough with the coaching session. And if you have been elevated and you've progressed and you're better and wiser for having watched my video tonight, I want you all to make a donation to my PayPal and my Cash App that's in my video description, okay? I do not take your donations lightly. I never tell you what to donate. Just understand that your donations continue to help me to elevate and grow and move forward as I continue to help you to elevate, grow, and move forward as well. So make your donations. And also, I'm still looking to fill the remaining slots of the 5 individuals who want to take my year-long coaching journey with me. In the year-long coaching journey with me, you will get a minimum of 3 coaching calls per week for the duration of a year. You'll have 24-hour access to me as well. If you're in a situation with a woman, you have different challenges that you're facing, you're about to go on a date, you have questions, just any sort of question, any sort of issue, you can bring it to me 24 hours a day via text, call, or email, and I'll get to you. I'm also going to meet up with you in person, and I'm going to coach you in person after I trust that the coaching has been beneficial to you and I can see you making advancements and improvements. Then we'll meet up no matter where you are in the world. We'll meet up one time in person. In addition to that, I'm going to do an assessment of you from where you are now and where you want to be, and I'm going to create a tailor-made coaching program for you. So it's going to be an amazing experience. So I'm still looking for the remaining slots of the 5 individuals who want to take the year-long coaching journey with me. And aside from that, the way to acquire that, the way to get the year-long coaching journey with me is you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. And in the subject matter of the email, you leave mentorship. And in the body of the email, you leave your name, your phone number, and where you are right now in life in the dating space and where you want to be. And that will allow me to do an assessment and to begin to tailor a program for you, something specific for you. And then I want to call you. And we're going to talk, and we're going to decide if we're a good fit to work with one another over the course of a year. It's going to be a very life-changing experience if you undertake this year-long coaching journey with me. So that, I gave you instructions on how to sign up for that. So yeah, just reach out to me, matt@matthewchorne.com, and we'll get on the road to the year-long coaching journey. Lastly, my school community, my dating community on the school platform. I want you all to join. Okay. In this community, you get 2 exclusive videos every week that are not on YouTube. You also get a Monday night Zoom call with me every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a monologue, and then the members of the community, we discuss it. And then from there, I'm your dating coach for an hour. You can ask me whatever you want to ask me. The gentlemen in the community are growing. I love the conversations. Everything is elevating. And the men are getting breakthroughs in results and breakthroughs in understanding. So also, every Zoom call that I've had, the dozens of Zoom calls that I had, they are archived in the community. Every custom video that is just for the community that I've made is archived in the community as well. So you can catch up. And I allow members of the community to also give me video topics. So I do create custom videos for individuals in the community and put them in the community. So it's a beneficial space, and everybody should sign up, okay? But aside from that, that's it. I've enjoyed spending some time with you all tonight. And just remember, having sex with lots of women should just be something that happens. It should never be a goal. And if you're an elevated, super sexy, attractive man, then you are a departure. You're something to be experienced and held and revered. And you're a place where women naturally want to be, because that's where they're designed to be, because you discovered yourself, so they can discover you and discover deeper parts of themselves by discovering you. So just become that man. Everything will be on easy mode, because you have to exert the level of extreme discipline. So understand, you never overextend yourself to any woman, especially when you know you're a departure of a man. You're on a more elevated plane and status than the average man that she's going to meet. Means that she does not have more value than you, so you can't overextend yourself naturally. Meaning that you take what comes. You deal with the women who recognize you, and your plate will always be full. You will always be satiated. You won't be like the other men who have to make their entire life getting the next piece of puthi. No, you'll be advancing, and the puthi will just come. It's just the byproduct of the man that you are. So their mantra, them, is effort and energy. Your mantra is just existence. I'll see you soon.